the man I was married to knew how to get it, and we started doing it on weekends. It would be our Friday after work little treat. And then pretty soon we were doing it in the middle of the week. And then pretty soon we were doing it every day. And it was fun for about 6 months. And then it became a job. It wasn't fun anymore. It was something that we had to do in order to get up and go to work. I never realized I was hooked until we ran out one time. And I felt that feeling. I never went into real withdrawals or sickness, but just that little bit of uncomfortableness was enough to make me send him back down. We were going to stop. Let's not do any more, you know. And then I was begging him to go back and get us some more. And then we ran into some people where we didn't have to drive to. We were driving to Seattle like every day. And then we met some people up here where we didn't have to do that. And then that's when it got really out of control, where we were spending $130 a day. And that went on for about 2 years. $800 a week. Bills weren't getting paid. Lies were getting told. Family members deceived. The whole job of being a heroin addict took over. And that was when Jim decided to start robbing banks, was because we couldn't afford our habit and to pay our house payment. And unbeknownst to me at the time, my husband had been robbing banks to support our habit. In 1999, he was arrested. And then I was left with the habit, because I was like the little housewife junkie. I never bought it. I never mixed it up. I didn't inject it. I would just do this. I'd turn my head and stick my arm out. And that's all I had to do. And then when Jim was arrested, I was left with this gorilla to feed. Yeah, I was left having to deal with this myself. I had to deal with the dealers. I had to deal with the people. The places that we used to have to go to meet to cop our dope was with people I wouldn't spit on. I was in some homes that were this cat poop everywhere, and it was disgusting. I was such a little upper middle class snob. And to be in that world that I was all of a sudden in was just, here I am, Miss Uppity, but I'm still buying the dope and sticking it in my arm just like they were, so I was no better than they were. I did that for myself for about 2 months, and then I finally asked for some help. Actually, it wasn't even 2 months. Jim was arrested in August of 99. I went into detox August of 99, got out, and went right back to doing dope. I didn't learn a thing. When I detoxed, I was medicated, so I didn't feel the withdrawals. I didn't go through any kind of horrible sickness. I was put to sleep for 5 days, woke up better, and within 3 weeks, drinking alcohol all day and in a blackout, I drove back to the place where I used to buy my dope, and I got a small amount because I had a huge tolerance, but once you get clean, you don't do as much as you used to, and I did, and I woke up in a aid car. I OD'd in these people's living room. Luckily, there was somebody there that wasn't going to throw me in the bushes and leave me to die. But I woke up in an aid car, and that was like one of the most horrifying moments of my life. I never felt so alone in my life. I couldn't tell anybody. I had no one. That was absolutely overwhelming. I've got 5 strange men leaning over me, telling me that how dead I was, and they'd cut my favorite sweater off of me, and then they took me to the hospital and left me in the emergency room for an hour just laying there. Nobody came and talked to me, no policeman, no counselor, no nothing. You would think a heroin overdose that somebody would have come in there and said something to me, but they didn't. They just let me go. I couldn't even find my way out of the hospital. They just said, "You're free." I'm in this hospital gown. My hair is, oh my gosh. I looked like the Walking Dead. And I got in a cab and went to my NA sponsor's house and was just freaked out. That absolutely freaked me out. And you know what? That wasn't enough. I didn't stop still. I continued getting loaded for the next year and just kept going further and further and further into debt. And the people that I was allowing into my home were just the worst possible examples of human. They're not even human. And again, got to a very bottom where I couldn't pay for anything. I had strangers in my home. I was begging for my own dope. They'd stolen my money. They had my dope. And I finally again woke up one morning and said, this is it. And I called my father and I said, get me out of here. I need to get some help or I'm going to die. And that was the time when I took it seriously. I again went to detox and went through my 14th treatment center and was doing really well for about 6 months. And then the person walked into my life that was from the old days, and I again got strung out for another 4 months. Then I couldn't tell anybody. There was no more treatment centers available to me. There were no more parents, no more counselors, no more anything. I was on my own. And that was the time when I kind of got down on my knees and I begged for any kind of strength that could help me do it, because nothing else helped. And I just really did. I had this serious talk with God, and it's like I unplugged my phone, I locked my doors, I drew my curtains closed, and I laid down in my room for 5 days. And I never was so sick in my life, and I wished I'd have gone through that the first time, because being that sick and that alone, I thought I was going to die. I never felt so... I don't know how I lived. I don't know how someone can throw up that much and have that bad of diarrhea and not eat anything but still have stuff come up. And it's like as quickly as it came on, it left. In 5 days, I was up and moving and thanking God. It took feeling that true withdrawal. All the treatment centers in the world didn't matter. All the boyfriends I've lost, all the money I've spent, all the jewelry I've lost, the things I've had stolen, everything. None of that mattered. But feeling that desperately alone and that fear that I really used to think I didn't care if I died, but I found out that week that I really didn't want to die. I actually wanted to live. That in itself, money can't buy that. So I can be as broke as I am right now, and I don't have a job, and I don't have a boyfriend, and all those things, none of it feels as bad as when you're strung out on that drug and it's robbed your soul. That's what it does. It steals your soul.